Hare Krishna devotees, welcome back again. So we are moving on to the next part of our program is Sunday Feast lecture. Today's class will be given by His Grace Abhay Kulkarni Prabhu and Rohini Mataji. Both are very familiar to our congregation, does not need any introduction, but it's our joy to glorify the devotees. Prabhu is one of the senior devotee in our congregation and selflessly serving in background. Big support to our temple. Abhay Prabhu performs Kirtan at devotee houses and glorifies the Lord name. And Prabhu well noted as Gandharva of Austin. Rohini Mataji doing many services such as cooking, cleaning, garland making, and also conducts BG classes on Friday for the temple. Both won't take any recognition and symbol of humility. They are surrendered to Guru and Krishna. With that, we will welcome Prabhu and Mataji with loudly chanting one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Over to you, Prabhu. Over to Mataji.
Thank you so much, Satrapa Gauranga Prabhu, for kind introduction. So we'll start with singing Jai Radha Madhava. Please join. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari जय गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय जय गोपीजनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन ब्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन ब्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरा यमुनातीरावनचारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे एवरीवन हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री राधा दामोदर की जय। डिवाइन प्रोटेक्टर नृसिंहदेव भगवान की, भगवत वाणी भगवत गीता की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। So today we will read from Bhagavad Gita chapter 10 verse 8. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava समन्विताः अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवो मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते इति मत्वा भजन्ते मां बुधा भावसमन्विताः अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवो मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते इति मत्वा भजन्ते मां बुधा भावसमन्विताः अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवो मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते इति मत्वा भजन्ते मां बुधा भावसमन्विताः अहं सर्वस्य प्रभवो मत्तः सर्वं प्रवर्तते इति मत्वा भजन्ते मां बुधा भावसमन्विताः. So we'll have a couple of Prabhus recite and then some Matajis and then some kids. So go ahead, Prabhus, please. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. Last one. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. Thank you so much, devotees. So translation. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise, who perfectly knows this, engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Very, very profound purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A learned scholar who has studied the Vedas perfectly and has information from authorities like Lord Chaitanya, and who knows how to apply these teachings, can understand that Krishna is the origin of everything in both the material and the spiritual worlds. And because he knows this perfectly, he becomes firmly fixed in the devotional service of the Supreme Lord. He can never be deviated by any amount of nonsensical commentaries or by fools. All Vedic literature agrees that Krishna is the source of Brahma, Shiva, and all other demigods. In Atharva Veda, Gopala Tapani Upanishad 1.24, it is said, Yo Brahmanam Vidyati Purvam, Yo Vai Vedamscha Japanti Sma Krishna. It was Krishna who in the beginning instructed Brahma in Vedic knowledge and who disseminated Vedic knowledge in the past. Then again, in the Narayana Upanishad 1 says, Atha Purusho Havai Narayano Kamayata Praja Shrajeti. Then the Supreme Personality Narayana desired to create living entities. The Upanishad continues, Narayanat Brahma Jayate, Narayanat Prajapati Prajayate, Narayanat Indro Jayate, Narayanat Ashto Vasavo Jayate, Narayanat Ekadasha Rudro Jayate, Narayanat Dvadasha Adityaha. From Narayana, Brahma is born. And from Narayana, the patriarchs are also born. From Narayana, Indra is born. From Narayana, the Ashtavasus are born. From Narayana, the 11 Rudras are born. From Narayana, the 12 Adityas are born. This Narayana is an expansion of Krishna. It is said in same Vedas, Brahmanyo Vaidevaki Putra. The son of Devaki, Krishna, is the Supreme Personality. Narayana Upanishad 4. Then it is said, Eko vai Narayana asina Brahma, Naishno napo nagne samo name Deva prathve na Naish nakshatrani na Surya. In the beginning of the creation, there was only the Supreme Personality Narayana. There was no Brahma, no Shiva, no water, no fire, no moon, no heaven, and no earth, no stars in the sky, no sun. Maha Upanishad 1.2. In the Maha Upanishad, it is also said that Lord Shiva was born from the forehead of the Supreme Lord. Thus, the Vedas say that it is the Supreme Lord, the creator of Brahma and Shiva, who is to be worshipped. In the Mokshadama section of the Mahabharata, Krishna also says, Prajapatim cha rudram chapi aham eva sajami vai tau hi mamana vijana to mama maya vimohito. The patriarchs Shiva and others are created by me. Though they do not know that they are created by me because they are deluded by my illusory energy. In the Varaha Purana, it is also said, Narayana paro devas tasmat jatas chaturmukha tasmat rudro bhavat devaha sa cha sarva yatam gataha. Narayana is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and from him Brahma was born, and from whom Shiva was born. Lord Krishna is the source of all generations, and he is called the most efficient cause of everything. He says, because everything is born of me, I am the original source of all. Everything is under me. No one is above me. There is no supreme controller other than Krishna. One who understands Krishna in such a way from a bona fide spiritual master, with all references from Vedic literature, engages all his energy in Krishna consciousness and becomes truly learned man. In comparison to him, all others who do not know Krishna properly are but fools. Only a fool would consider Krishna to be an extraordinary man. A Krishna conscious person should not be bewildered by fools. He should avoid all unauthorized commentaries and interpretations on Bhagavad Gita and process in Krishna consciousness and determination and firmness. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruvai Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamshta Shri Rupam Sagarjatam Sahaguna Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahaguna Lalita Sri Vishakam Vitamshta He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatru Bhayasya Kripa Sindhubhye Vacha Patita Nama Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So first of all, we like to express our gratitude to His Grace Satyasara Prabhu and Jashodhara Mataji for giving us this service. We personally feel we are very unqualified, but with your blessings and mercy, we will be able to do this service for our own purification. So thank you so much. So the Bhagavad Gita was spoken to Arjuna. Now somebody would say that, oh, Arjuna had a problem, that's why Lord spoke Bhagavad Gita to him. You know, it was his problem, that's why it's not my problem. But the reality is, Arjuna represents all of us. You know, he represents all of us who are suffering in this material world. You know, Arjuna is best among the men. In Bhagavad Gita 2.15, Lord addresses Arjuna, you know, as Purusha Sharbha, which actually means the best of the men. So, in the real position, there is no need for Arjuna to be bewildered. Lords put him into that situation and gives him the message so that the message could be passed on to everyone else. Like in India, there is like this tradition, like, sometimes the the mother has a daughter and she also has a daughter-in-law. So if the mother thinks there is some instruction that needs to be given to daughter-in-law, then the instruction is given to the daughter. And when the daughter-in-law hears that instruction, she gets it. So it's not directly told to the daughter-in-law. So it's kind of like an indirect way of passing the message. So in this case, this message has been given to the best of the men. And that's how this message is applicable to all of us in here. So, Aham Sarvasya Prabho Mattam Sarvam Pravartate, this is a very profound, very profound statement. Very authoritative statement. Who can make a statement like that? Can we make a statement like that? Can I say I'm the origin of everything? No, we don't have that capacity. Some people may think they have that capacity. Some people, like there are a lot of people who think they are authorities. There is no one above them. Recently, the ex-president of our country, he got indicted by Supreme Court in New York. He would think like he is the supreme, but the thing is that he was indicted on criminal charges. So the thing is that we have to be careful not thinking that we are the supreme. We have to act based on our own position. There is an interesting story of impersonating Lord Krishna. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto. This is for the king Paundraka. So I'll just narrate the story briefly. So King Paundraka was a king. He was the king of a place called near Kashi in India. So when Krishna and Balaram, they were in Dwaraka as kings. Once Balaram has to go elsewhere, he was visiting Vrindavan. So Lord Krishna was alone there. Now this king Paundraka, he was somehow convinced by his friends and associates that he is the supreme person, and he has descended, on this earthly planet, and this other person, like this real Krishna, is someone like that needs to give up his name because he is the original Vasudeva. So this while Balaram was gone, this king Paundrak, he sent a messenger to Dwarka in Lord Krishna's assembly, saying that, hey, I am the original Vasudeva, you are the one taking my name, so you give up your name. And you are also using all these symbols like this conch shell, this club disc, they are all mine. So you just give them up, and you give up your name, and then you take my shelter. And if you don't do that, if you don't want to do that, come have a battle with me. So basically, his message was to kind of just instigate Krishna and do some kind of battle, because he's just thinking, well, there are two brothers, one of them is already out, so maybe we can defeat the other one, But the second problem was he was pretty dumb-witted to get convinced by his friends and associates that he is the supreme person. Anyway, so when the messenger came, he read the message. Everybody in the Krishna's assembly, they had a pretty good laugh, and Krishna gave a message back to the messenger saying that, well, go back to your king, and he said, I don't want to give up my name and my symbols, so you go and tell your king that be ready for the battle. So Krishna later on, he surrounded the city of Kashi, and then when the city was surrounded, the Paundraka and his friends and his associates, they came out with a big army out of the city, and there was a huge battle. So when the king Paundraka, he came out, he dressed exactly like Krishna. He was wearing, yellow, garments. He was having imitation, chakra, and like he made a disc for himself, everything. And even Lord Krishna could not stop laughing himself. So, but then there was a big fight. Lord Krishna, he unleashed his disc, like the real Sudarshana chakra. And all the chariots, all the soldiers, everyone, all the associates, they got destroyed. He even killed the king Paundraka, who was trying to impersonate him. So the moral of the story is we must not make false claims of being God or being Krishna. There are many people who like to do that. They like to pose as Krishna. Well, Krishna is doing Rasa Leela, so I'll get hold of a couple of women and I'll do Rasa Leela too. That's totally wrong, and it's very, very offensive. For example, like we read sometimes in the news, like a cop represents government. But then sometimes we read in the news like some people, they like to pose as cops, and then they chase other people and they give them tickets, but eventually they get caught and they go to jail. So the thing is that even in the material world, if impersonating someone, an authority, gets a punishment, then like impersonating Krishna is a very big offense. So we have to be careful of that. We don't want to imitate Krishna. We want to understand Krishna. Now, so Krishna is authority, and anyone who represents Krishna truly, like a bona fide spiritual master, they are an authority also. So just like a cop, he's a normal person like us, but when he is wearing a uniform and he's on the duty, he's authorized. He's a representative of the government. We take his instructions, we follow his instructions. So if again we talked about if we impersonate cops, we're gonna get into trouble. So, Lord's authority comes from his supreme position. He's that position. That's the way he can make that statement. He's unlimitedly opulent. It's impossible for us to comprehend it from our human intelligence. What's Lord's position is. It's only Lord who reveals that to us. In 90s, we send out the Hubble telescope, and then the telescope looks through the sky, and then they saw, oh look, there are a million other galaxies and everything. And then we thought, oh, that's great, because we did not know about it. Recently we sent out another telescope, the Webb telescope, and now it shows us more details on that. So so now there is more. So the thing is that there is always limitation to our material intelligence and material instruments, that we can understand the Lord. It's only the other way. When Lord reveals, then only we find out. Lord can create unlimited universes, when he breathes. When we breathe, what happens? Maybe like a bad breath. With his potency, he can do everything. He can keep a planet like Earth floating in the middle of nowhere. Like planet like Sun, Sun can have 1.3 million. The Sun is equal to 1.3 million Earths. That's big how Sun is. But the Sun keeps floating, in the middle of nowhere. So that's his potency. So there is a chart I wanted to show. So as Radha Damodar Prabhu is sharing the chart, hopefully we can see it. It's I'm not sure how big it's going to look, but if there is any way, Radha Damodar Prabhu, if they can look bigger. But coming back to the point of origin of all, we can see this from this chart, that on the top of the chart we see Lord Krishna. And then Lord Krishna, he is expanding, into all these different forms. Lord Krishna is expanding into Krishna and Balarama. Lord Krishna can also expand himself into multiple forms, when Lord Krishna was in the Dwarka with 16,000 queens, he was able to expand himself, 16,000, and then they are exactly identical to him. Brahma Vimoma Lila, he was able to expand himself as different forms. So those are like his own forms. Then Lord can expand into the Purusha avatars, the Kshirodakshai Vishnu, Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And then he can also have, he can expand himself as Narayana or Vishnu forms, So some people think, Vishnu comes first, then the Krishna. But if you look at this chart, the way it works is first comes Krishna, then he expands as Vishnu. So it's like, a person at home is Krishna. But when he dresses up in a suit and takes a briefcase and goes to work, he's Vishnu. So because he's there with a purpose. Then we have the Guna avatars. Guna avatars are Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu. So they are acting in a certain guna, for a certain purpose. So it goes on and on. Then there we have Shaktavesha avatars. There are empowered living entities who are given this capacity to perform a certain functions. But normal living entity does not have those capabilities. But Lord empowers them to go in and perform those functions. So as you can see here, Krishna is the origin. If you look at this whole chart as a tree, then what is the root? Root is the Krishna, right? So the thing is that what we have to understand here is if you serve the root of the tree, then everything which is there on the tree is served. Like when we say water a plant, where do we water? We water the root of the plant, right? We don't go and water the individual leaves or flowers or fruit. That's what we do. So that's the purpose. That's the understanding we need to develop from this arrangement, where Krishna is expanding all different ways. There is no limitation to Lord's expansions. Srimad Bhagavatam says Lord's expansions are like waves in an ocean. Can we count the number of waves in the ocean? We cannot. So similarly, there is no way for us to know, all different expansions of the Lord. In this particular Kali Yuga, Lord expands or Lord comes as the Nama Rupa. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatara. So in this Kali Yuga, he can be accessible, just by chanting his name. And how do we do that process? By his name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So when we do this, we are directly in the touch with the Lord. So the purport refers to like learning from authorities. Why do we learn from authorities? What is the need? Somebody can say, hey, I'm pretty smart. I have a master's degree and I can read Sanskrit and I also have access to a dictionary. So I can do it myself. But the thing is that when you do that, there is a risk because we are not faultless. We have limited senses. There is a good story in this reference of like blind man and the elephant. Once there was a town, and then there was a group of blind men, they were all friends. Once they heard that there is a new animal that is coming to the town, it's strange and new, we don't know about it. So they think about, let's go and find out because we never heard about that. So they all go and they decide that, we want to find out about this animal because they are blind, they cannot see by our sense of touch. So one blind person, he goes and touches the trunk and he says, it's a thick snake. And another one goes and touches the ears and he says, I think it looks like a fan. Another one goes and touches the legs and he says, it's like a pillar. One goes and touches the tail and he says, it's a rope. Another one, he goes and touches the side of the elephant and he says, it's a wall. So what is happening here? In a way, they are all getting some perception of the elephant, but not a complete perception. Similarly, without having a perfect knowledge, with our limited senses, we will not be able to understand the nature of the absolute truth. Only a person who has his eyes open, they will be able to see and explain us, what the absolute reality is. We will keep speculating. There are, the material scientists, they speculate. The Big Bang story, the Big Bang theory, everything came out of nowhere. There was an explosion and a lotus flower was born. Have you ever seen that? There is an explosion and lotus flowers come out of it. So the thing is that, but there are people are making all these theories. There are other theories people make. I am God, we are all gods. We are just having fun here. We are all gods. Well, if we are all gods, then why do I have to do an 8 to 5 job? Right? If I am God, if I have a toothache, why do I have to run to the dentist? Right? If I am God, why do I have to sit down and budget my expenses? Why do I have to keep checking the balance on my checking account? It doesn't work out. So the thing is that all those theories are just a distraction. We have to learn from the authorities that would give us the perfect knowledge. Learning from authority also saves time because you don't reinvent the wheel. Right? Someday somebody will say, I'll get the answer, but the thing is that we have a limited lifespan. How many years we have? Nowadays, people live only for 70, 80 years. Somebody lives for 100 years, their name is in the newspaper. And people go in there, interview them, what did you do? You live for 100 years. So that's something, it's that limits our capacity and our time. But when we learn from authorities, we can take all this knowledge, the way it needs to happen. This ignorance, this place is called Dukhalayam Ashashvatam. This is a place of all the miseries. However hard we try, the misery would be on us. Somebody would say, I'm doing great. I have a lot of money. I have a good bank balance. I have a good job. They cannot fire me. I have a good health. But so I don't need this. But think about it. This is what people were talking before COVID hit, right? Imagine what happened during COVID. Everything turned upside down. So the thing is that this material nature, this place is a harsh place. Our neck is always on the chopping block. You believe it or not, we are always on the chopping block. So we have to be very, very careful. You know, this human birth has a very special meaning. You know, the Vedanta Sutra says, Athato Brahma Jidnyasa. Now you have taken the human birth, you know, you should inquire. You should ask about who am I? What is my purpose? What am I doing? Because if you don't do that and just live like, you know, eating, mating, sleeping, defending, then there is no difference between a human life and an animal life. That's what animals are doing too. So what is the difference? You know, we have to study engineering and then we make a bridge. But then animals don't have to study. They can make good things too. There is an animal called beaver. He lives in the stagnant water. And beaver can make nice dams. He doesn't go to engineering college. So where did he learn from? He knows it. So the animals know all those things. So the thing is that there has to be a different purpose for the human life. And that's what we have to go after. That's what we have to pursue. Because that's what is the perfection. Imagine, you know, when you are preparing for an exam, you prepare for the entire year. And now it's the 1 hour which is most important for my exam. What would you do? Would you sincerely get your head down and write the answers to your question, or you would look out of the window? Right? This is what it is. So this human birth, out of 8.4 million species that we have gotten, is the rare opportunity. We have to utilize this time. If we don't, if we just keep wasting our time doing other things, then that's it. We have wasted this time. And now, with whatever we have done, we could be back in the animal kingdom. You know? So, Vaishnava saint Narottam Das Thakur, he sings, Hari Hari Bifale Janam Goaino. Oh Lord Hari, I am wasting this time. Instead of praying, instead of worshipping Radha and Krishna, I am unknowingly drinking poison. Now we are just using our time in doing things which are not useful for us. You know, drinking poisons make me think about Botox. And a lot of people, when they get old, they put like the Botox thing. Botox is actually a poison. But the thing is that we just, inject it in our body, like, well, temporarily I'm feeling young. So, but the thing is that that's not a permanent solution. That's not gonna, make you younger all this time. So why we do that? So having this knowledge is very, very important. When we get this knowledge and then we get fixed in our actions by this knowledge, then what happens is it gives a direction to our life. We do not go ups and down. The ups and downs in this material life will keep coming. Whatever happens, there will be ups and downs. But when we take up the process, when we think, when we understand this is how it is organized, this is what is my position, this is what I am supposed to do. When we fix ourselves into the devotional process, there is no yo-yo. See how a yo-yo goes up and down? That's what is going on. We are all yo-yos. Sometimes we are up, sometimes we are down. But then when we are firmly fixed, there is no yo-yo. We are firmly fixed. Anything else, things will keep happening. People will come to you with foolish philosophies and everything, but it won't deter. A devotee who is firmly fixed in his process, he will not get deterred by any other processes or thought process that people are making up. So that's what needs to happen. When it's like when they put this medical implants in the body, like they use titanium. Why titanium? Because it doesn't rust. Anything else will rust. So the thing is that you could be a part of the same society in which all these things is going on, but the thing is that you insulate yourself. You get firmly fixed into that knowledge. So the thing is that from a practical standpoint, we have to understand that whatever capabilities we have, whatever we can do, utilize everything into Lord's service. Utilize everything into Lord's service. Consider everything as Lord's property. Nothing is your property. Nothing is your property. Radha Krishna Prabhu was saying the other day, this body is a rental space. We could be evicted at any time. So the thing is that we have to know this. We could be evicted from this time, from this body, from this place at any time. So we have to be careful. We have to utilize this time. Instead of gratifying our own senses, we gratify Lord's senses. Rishikena sevayam bhakti ruchyate. And that is self-realization. So I'll pass on to Rohini for her to share her thoughts.
So in this chapter, the Lord talks about his opulence. So, why Lord talks about this opulence? Because in material world, we see that if someone talks about their opulence, we may think that, oh, they are being proud, they are telling about themselves. As Prabhu said, Lord is making authoritative statement here, that I am the source of all. He is the root of everything. But why he is saying? Because it's actually Lord's extraordinary mercy on us. Because we are all are conditioned souls, and it is very difficult for us to understand Lord on our own, the Lord's opulence, because He is the origin of everything. There is no origin of Him. So how can we understand Lord unless He tells His qualities to us? So understanding Krishna is very difficult for us, but it is not difficult when God Himself gives His own knowledge. And that's what Krishna says in this verse, that I am the original source of everything, and everything is under me, and no one is above me. So when we hear from Lord directly or through His representatives, then it purifies our heart. And then we can understand Lord's opulence. So why it is important for us to hear Lord's opulence? Because as Prabhu said, that there is so much confusion, so much imposters, they claim that I am God. Everyone is claiming something or the other because they don't have proper knowledge. So it is not because that someone likes Krishna, they say, oh, Krishna is God. Srila Prabhupada, when we read the purport, we can see that gives many references from Vedas, which are authoritative sources coming from Krishna himself, that Krishna is God. And he also explains, if you say what is definition of God, people claim that I am God. But simple definition of God that Srila Prabhupada says is, God is one that attracts everyone. Now, everyone have seen picture of Krishna, and we have seen that he attract cows, he attract calves, birds, beasts, trees, plants, even water in Vrindavan is attracted towards Krishna. So that is God. He is attracting all human society, attracting gopis, cowherd boys, Nanda Maharaj, everything is being attracted towards him. So, and Parashara Muni, a great sage and father of Vyasadeva, who compiled all the Vedic literature, he gives us the following definition of God. Aishwarasya samagrasya virasya yashashriya jnana vairagyayoschaiva sanam bhaga itigna. Vishnu Puran 6.5.47. The word Bhagwan is explained by Parashar Muni, that he is one who is full in 6 opulence. He has full strength, full fame, wealth, knowledge, beauty and renunciation. That is God. He possesses everything in full. So when Krishna was present on the earth, he displayed all 6 opulences. Like Krishna's knowledge, there is no comparison to Lord's knowledge, because Krishna's knowledge is unlimited. Because he himself is the source of knowledge. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Sarvasya chaham ridisarni vishto, matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha, vedescha sarvair ahameva vedyo, vedanta krit veda videva chaham. That I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes knowledge, remembrance, forgetfulness. So one can be knowledgeable in this world, but no one can claim that they have all the knowledge. Similarly, wealth. Krishna's abode is built with spiritual gems, and thousands of goddesses of Lakshmi, they are constantly serving Lord. So that is the opulence of the Lord. That is Lord. And also when he was on earth, he had 16,108 beautiful queens. But he provided each one of them with a magnificent palace. And every palace was filled with invaluable jewels, diamonds, and there was great opulence everywhere. So Krishna expanded himself. It's not that Krishna gave the palace, but Krishna also expanded himself and into 16,108 forms and was present in each palace. That is God. It is impossible for an ordinary man to be like that, because Lord is omnipotent. Also Lord's beauty. Lord's beauty surpasses that of millions and millions of Cupid. Kandarpa koti kamaniya vishesha shobham. Another name for Lord is Madan Mohana. Madan means Cupid and Mohana means the enchanter. So Cupid enchants everyone in this universe, but even he is enchanted by the beauty of Krishna. That is opulent beauty of the Lord. Then fame. In this material world, we see that fame fades away with time. One can be famous in the newspapers, they are all filled with, the articles related to that person. But after few years, no one even remembers the name. But Krishna, he appeared 5,000 years ago and on this earth, and yet he is so famous. He is worshipped throughout the world. Is there anyone so famous as Krishna? Can you remember like that? And also, Srila Prabhupada says that the Bhagavad Gita, which is spoken by Krishna himself, is known all over the world right now. So that is fame of Bhagavad Gita is also fame of Krishna. And strength. Another quality of Lord is his unlimited strength. So when Lord was, his strength was born from his strength was present from his birth. It's not like, the baby, it grows and eventually he becomes stronger as they grow. But Lord, when he was only 3 months old, Putna demon attempted to kill him, but instead she was killed by Krishna. So that is God. God is God from beginning. It is not that he becomes God by meditation or by mystic power. So people claim that I am God, but their strength is not from childhood. That Krishna's potency doesn't change. When his potency is same as when he is child or when he is young, that is God. And most of all, although he has all 6 opulences in full, at the same time, Lord is fully renounced. Like Krishna's potencies, they are working under his directions, but he is neutral and he is detached from all material activities. That is Krishna. He is aloof, even though he created everything, but he is not here to enjoy. He created and he is in his abode. So why God is talking about all this? We want to know this opulence and why we are doing it. Because in spiritual world, we were all originally in spiritual world with God, but we wanted to enjoy separately from him. So we fell down into the material world and then we became conditioned. We became conditioned because of the coming in contact with the matter. And so mundane person in this world is not attracted by Krishna, which is all attractive. Instead, because of conditioning and being illusion, he is attracted to the Maya of this world. And because of that, he is suffering in the cycle of birth and death again and again. So Lord, out of his mercy, he came down and he doesn't came down personally. Even this is his by potency. He manifested this material creation. And so the people who are attracted by the power of the Lord, they get attracted to these opulences. And then when they meditate on them, it gradually brings them to devotion towards the Lord. So that's what Lord wanted, so that we can come out of this. So that's why he created this. This is in a way, it is a jail for us. But Lord's power, when we see through his potencies, then it gives us a chance to meditate on that and come out of it. So just like if you have a friend and who is very dear to you, and then you find out that he is a son of president, our affection will naturally increase more towards him. So that's how, if we know the greatness of Lord, then and opulence of the Lord, then the attraction, even mundane people will be attracted, because everyone is attracted to the great things. So that's what, when they get attracted, because Lord is all transcendental, they will get purified. And for devotees, they don't require all this greatness, to remember Lord, because they are naturally, their love and devotion is very pure. And their anxiety and emotions are all transcendental. So they don't need to remember Lord. They don't need to look at the greatness to think, oh, he is Lord. Because they love Krishna. Their love is spontaneous. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, like 9.34, that always remember me. Man mana mava bad bhakto. Because how can we remember Krishna always? Like by looking at these opulences that Krishna is telling, that I am the authority, and Krishna is created all this material creation. And when we look everything through the perspective that everything is Krishna's energy, then it will bring us closer to Krishna. And for the devotees, they remember Krishna in every small thing. Devotees don't need to get attracted to this great opulence. But they remember, because they love Krishna, just like you love your child, you will always remember him. You don't need to see, oh, he is this person. You love him as a child, you love him when he grows up. The love is constantly there. You are always, you don't need to see things of his to have him remembered, like he is my child. That's how the devotees naturally love Krishna. So when, like Krishna says, I am, everything comes from me. I am the origin. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that the element water comes from him, and also he is the taste of water that quenches the thirst. And so the active principle of water is the essence of water. Like the taste is the basically essence of water. So that is the opulence of Lord. So when devotees taste that water, they they understand that Krishna is the source of this water. So they feel gratitude towards Krishna, that how kind Krishna is, that he has provided us with all these things. So impersonalists also perceive the taste of water, but they cannot perceive the person behind that. So that's what the love of devotees makes them feel grateful towards Lord. So when we know Lord's position, we should feel grateful that how he has provided us everything in this world. He is the origin of everything, and everything that we see in this world is basically his energy, and we are using these things. So our duty is to serve him, because basically everything belongs to him. Krishna says he is the light of sun and moon. So imagine if there is no sun, we would all freeze to death. So Krishna has created in this world in a way that he is taking care of us. He is providing us air. But if in COVID time we saw like people were ready to pay anything to get air, to get the oxygen basically, because their life was dependent on it. So that is God, because Lord is providing everything, and he is also giving us opportunity. You know that, you have forgotten us, you have come into this world, but you come towards me. So first we get attracted towards the greatness of the Lord, and when we understand his position, when we understand who Lord is, then slowly we understand the sweetness behind the Lord's nature, that even though he is powerful, but also he is with us. Like he stays in our heart as a super soul. So we can see that any powerful person on this earth, people want to meet them. But it takes so much of effort to meet a person who is so great. But for Lord, even though he is great, he has created everything, but he is there with us also. If we want to connect him, he will give us knowledge that, come to me, connect to me, you belong to me. So that knowledge, that thing, this mundane material world, you can never get that. So that is Lord, that is his greatness, that he is not only great, but he also has the sweetness of mercy. Mercy factor is there in him. And he tells us this opulence. He's telling us about his position. He's telling us, about his authority, so that we don't get misled. We don't get misled in this world. Because out of ignorance, many foolish people think, because they don't understand that Lord's nature is transcendental. So they don't understand Lord's glories. So they consider him to be ordinary human. So people say like, Krishna is son of Devaki and Vasudev. So how can, you say he's the cause of everything, he is not born. So how can he be unborn? But Srimad Bhagavatam says that when Lord appeared as son of Devaki, he was not like as an ordinary child. He appeared in the four-armed form as Lord Vishnu. But when Mother Devaki prayed to Lord that, please become an ordinary child, otherwise Kamsa will kill you. So out of affection for Mother Devaki, then Lord he took the ordinary human form. So that is God. God is God from beginning. It was not like he was born and then he meditated, I wanted to become God, and then he becomes God. He is God from beginning. He has appeared like four-armed form. So many persons who claim they are God, they can look at themselves, like how are they born? Do they appear, like do they have all these features? No. God is God by his internal potency, and he is always under superior energy. He is never affected by material energy. His form is Satchidananda form. So Krishna is also born, and at the same time he is also unborn. That is inconceivable potency of the Lord. That is the opulence of the Lord. So even the Lord, like Uddhava, when he was talking to Vidura, when Vidura came after he left the palace of Dhritarashtra, and he said that even learned sages, they get bewildered when they see the Lord engaging in daily activities. So when even sages get bewildered, and Lord Brahma and demigods also cannot understand Krishna. So what to talk about us? We are just the conditioned souls. Because Lord Brahma and Krishna, they also want to know Krishna. But you need knowledge. You need, as Prabhu said, that proper knowledge is needed to understand Krishna. So because we are in conditioned life, so knowledge is covered, our knowledge is covered by influence of Maya. So in bodily consciousness, the person cannot perceive the absolute truth, because we are on the bodily platform. And our body is the combination of spirit and matter. So people, right now for knowledge, people study only about the matter. They don't look at the spirit aspect of it. But what is complete knowledge? It is to know the matter the spirit, and what is the source of both. So when you know that Krishna is the source of matter and spirit, then you can understand the spiritual knowledge, and we come to that state where we can perceive this, that Krishna, that what Krishna is saying in this verse. So basically knowledge is both, like realize, when you realize that now, first you need to know that you are not this body, you are spirit soul. And then you need to realize this knowledge. And when you realize this knowledge, then you can understand the glories of Lord. But we cannot do that on our own. Because as we are full of, there are so many, our senses are imperfect. So we need to approach a bona fide spiritual master for that. So Bhagavad Gita, it says that 4.34, Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshasti te gnanam gnanena tattva darshina. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively. So what happens when we inquire? So we have all these bodily designations because of which we are attached in this, we are in this material world. So when we surrender that bodily designations, basically they go away, and there humility comes. That's when we can get that knowledge. And how that knowledge is there, then we become submissive with faith. Then the knowledge is revealed in our heart by mercy of Guru and Krishna. We cannot read and get this knowledge through spiritual master. When we do devotional service, we get that knowledge. Because when we perform devotional service with determination, then we come to the Nishtha stage where we get that knowledge. And when we get that taste of, when we get realization of Krishna's greatness and sweetness to that knowledge, we voluntarily engage in service of the Lord, because out of love you are doing that service. That's why in this verse says, Prabhupada says that the service is done with the heart, with the bhava, because they understand that what is my position and what is position of Krishna. I am servant of Krishna. So that bhav is there. And they understand, Vedas say that those who perform the service to Guru and Krishna, then they are enlightened from inside. It's not that their knowledge is given, they can perceive that knowledge by themselves. So when one knows the complete knowledge and one knows how to engage these temporary things in the service of the Lord, and then they establish the relationship with the Lord. So they know through Guru and Krishna, we know our sambandha gyan, what is our relationship to the Lord. And that's when we achieve the perfection of life. When we serve, that is our goal, to serve Lord with devotion in his personal feature. And then, so such man is called wise in this verse, that one who understands Krishna's position, one who knows that what is our goal, then he comes out of the cycle of birth and death, and he serves Lord with devotion in his personal feature. So such man is a wiser man and a learned man. That is what it is Krishna tries to say. So thank you so much, and please forgive for any offenses or any mistakes that have been during this presentation. And please, if there is any correction and suggestion, please do let us know. Thank you so much. Jai. Jai.
Hare Krishna devotees, if you have any question, please raise your hand. And also devotees who are attending on the Zoom also, they can raise your hand. If you have any questions, comments, and if you want to share any reflections.
Hare Krishna Prabhu and Mataji, thank you for the wonderful class. I just wanted to say I really love the example that you used for the why we need a spiritual master to go into like shastras and stuff, and I love the example of like the elephant and the 7 blind men. It was just a wonderful way to express, like, really answer like why you need a guru. Okay. I just like that.
Thank you.
Question.
How to identify a guru?
So
That's a very good question. That's $1 million question. How to identify a guru? So, first of all, we have to recognize that I need a direction. I need a process. First of all, you recognize I need a process. Then what you do is there are three factors. You look at what Shastra is saying, what Krishna is saying. So when you let's say start reading Bhagavad Gita will tell you who is a proper guru, who is a proper authority, who is a proper Mahajana. So a person who is always involved in the service of Krishna, all of his activities, everything that he is doing is oriented towards the Lord. That is a person who is a proper authority. There are 4 disciplic successions in the Vaishnava Sampradaya, one from Brahma, one from Rudra, one from Lakshmi, and one from the Kumaras. Those are all 4 are the authorized paramparas or sampradayas that connect you back to the Krishna. There could be a random person who could walk in and say, hey, I know these things, I could be your guru. But you have to be careful what teachings he is giving you. If he is giving you a teaching that connects you to Krishna or not. If somebody gives you a teaching and then you see that at the end of it you are not connected to Krishna, that is not the right way, because then that path would stop somewhere. If you are going from A to B, and then you sit in a train, you want to make sure that the train goes from A to B. If there is an intermediate stop, the train says, well, that's it, you just get off here, and I'm not going to the final destination. That's not something you want to take. So that's something that you have to assess. That's something you have to see. So anything that links you back to the Supreme Lord, because Lord Krishna says himself, like anything else that you are doing would probably, if it is specific to this material nature, this material universe, you are not coming back to my board. When you are directly in touch with me, in my authority, someone who is following me, then you can come back to me and then you will not take birth again. So originally we were all with Krishna. But then when we are here in this world, our intention is to go back to him. Anything less is not the right way. I hope that answered the question. Okay. Thank you. Prabhu, do you want to add something? Okay.
And also the qualification of Guru is in the Shastra, right? Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam. These are the 2 qualifications. Shrotriyam means, Brahmanishtam means one who is fixed on the Lord actually. He accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he has spiritual knowledge. Not only the knowledge, he also practices it. That's called Shrotriyam. So the Guru is, not only by knowledge you have a Guru, but also they practice that knowledge. So it's by example. It's exemplary to the teachings of Vedic knowledge is a qualification of a Guru. It's not just a knowledge alone. Sure. You're saying go and do something. Right. How I serve. Right, Prabhu. So, scripture says that also. Guru Krishna. I don't know how to read. No, that's you do not know. But scripture says this. Guru Krishna Prasade Bhai Bhakti Lada Bij. Meaning, when you have the desire to have a Guru, when you have a desire to gain knowledge, genuine desire, the knowledge finds its way into your heart. Krishna sends Guru in your way. So you go in front of the Lord and say, hey, I do not know. Everybody is praising you. There is, practicing bhakti. But I really want to know who you are. I am searching for you. When you have the genuine desire, then Krishna sends the spiritual teacher to you. You look for a teacher and teacher looks for the student. So that's how it works. So when we have that desire, it will be fulfilled. So by the mercy of Guru, we get Krishna. By the mercy of Krishna, we get Guru. It's like it's a symbiotic. Very nice, Prabhu. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, Prabhu. That's all for the day. Thank you. This is a wonderful class. Thank you, Mataji, for enlightening class. With that, devotees, we are moving on to the next part of our program, is Arati. Please stand up. Radha Vinod Prabhu is doing Arati. Neha Mataji doing Arati Kirtan.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Jishnu, we will go slow. Okay?
Together?
Sure.
I don't know what she's singing, but whatever.
Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki jai. Hare Krishna. Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami everyone. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Namaste शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा everyone जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा
Krishna, Krishna.
One minute. Sorry. Prabhu, he got he got stuck. Prabhu knows how to do it. Abhay Prabhu. Yeah, now it's perfect. Yeah, you can keep it. Sorry, everyone. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Last time, everyone. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Jaya Jaya Prabhu, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Jaya Jaya Gurudev,
Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Nitya Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol,
Hari Bol,
Hari Bol, Nitya Gaur Hari Bol, Nitya Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaur Hari Bol. Shri Shri Radha Shyam Sundar Ji ki Jai. Prabhupada ki
Jai. Hare Krishna will play obeisances. Jaya Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Prajakcharya Astosrasta Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jaya Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Prajakcharya Astosrasta Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Ritas Thakur ki Jai. प्रेम श्री गौर श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवाचार्य गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन धाम की जय. रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय. नवद्वीप श्री मायापुर धाम की जय. श्री क्षेत्रम श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय. जगन्नाथ स्वामी की जय. भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय. गंगामयी यमुनामयी की जय. सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय. हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय. प्रभुपाद ट्रांसडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय. प्रभुपाद ट्रांसडेंटल काउ प्रोटेक्शन यज्ञ की जय. प्रभुपाद ट्रांसडेंटल प्रसादम डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय. गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the lotus feet of Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Now we are going to do Narsinga Arati.
long one. Okay, Prabhu. Namaste Narasimhaya. Everyone.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Praladadaine. Everyone.
Praladadaine.
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 Hiranyakashipurvakshaha.
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 Shilatankana khalyaye. Everyone.
Shilatankana khalyaye.
Shilatankana khalyaye.
Shilatankana khalyaye.
Ito narsimho parato to narsimho.
Ito narsimho parato narsimho.
Ito narsimho parato narsimho.
Ito narsimho parato narsimho.
Yato yato yami tato 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 narsimho.
Bahe narsimho, hirdaye narsimho.
Bahir Narsimha Hridaya Narsimha
Bahe Narsimha Hridaye Mo
Bahe Narsimha Hridaya Narsimha
Narsimhamadin Sharanam Prapade
Narsimhamadin Sharanam Prapade
Narsimhamadin Sharanam Prapade
Narsimhamadin Sharanam Prapade
Tava Kara Kamalavare Nakham Adbud Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam Keshavudrita Narhari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare
Tava Kara Kamalavare Nakham Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam Keshavadrita Narhari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare
Tava Kara Kamalavare Nakham Adbud Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam Keshavudrita Narhari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish
Tava Kara Kamalavare Nakham Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam Keshavadrita Narhari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare
Jaya Narsingh Dev Jaya Narsingh Dev Jaya Narsingh Dev Jaya Narsingh Dev
Jaya Narsingh Dev Jaya Narsingh Dev Jaya Narsingh Dev Jaya Narsingh Dev
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Prabhupada
Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya Gurudev
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 Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev
Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev
Nitya Gaur Hari Bol
Hari Bol
Hari Bol
Hari Bol
Hari Bol Nitya Gaur Hari Bol
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol
नरसिंह भगवान की जय प्रहलाद महाराज की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय नो प्रभु
Hare Krishna devotees, thank you for attending today's Sunday Feast Kirtan.